Welcome to La Rochelle in France for the 34th Student Yachting World Cup. This battle of the brains is back for a second time in 3 years to beautiful La Rochelle, with its pretty harbour and old town rich in French maritime history. It has cobbled streets, medieval battlements and strong connections to the 12th century Knights Templar.
The SYWoC has a good relationship with La Rochelle because we've been in La Rochelle for 5 times in the past 10 years, so nearly once every 2 years. There are several reasons why we like choosing La Rochelle for the SYWoC. The first reason is because it has a great nautical potential. It has been the host of several top-level international sailing competitions, and so that's why we think that this harbour has the capacity to host the SYWoC.
There was no particular stress today in the bustle of the port of La Rochelle because it was practice time before tomorrow's first race. But despite the light-hearted start to the week's competition, the racing could turn out to be challenging. Hurricane Gonzalo is barreling its way over Bermuda and then heading across the Atlantic for Europe, so some big seas and breeze are expected for the final 3 days of racing. The weather is the weather and forecasts are forecasts. So for practice day, everything looked good. Southampton University, representing England, made a clean start and seemed hungry for the title. They didn't make the podium last year, so the entire reputation of this renowned sailing university is at stake. Oh yes. The USA's California Maritime University also looked in great shape. Switzerland's EPFL University didn't make such a cool start. Are the Swiss really committed to their goal to win this epic contest? This is the big question they need to ask themselves. They and all 90 of the finest student sailors on the planet have 6 days to find the answer. 12 teams are entered, but only one will stand tallest on the podium in the very place of Templar legend. France's L'École Polytechnique and the municipality of La Rochelle hosted the opening ceremony, and so the stage is now set for a week of drama and duels. On the first day of the 34th Student Yachting World Cup, or SYWoC as it's known, everything was set for the first warning signal at 10:30 in the morning. 20 races are scheduled over the 6 days of racing in La Rochelle, France, and good planning was crucial to get off on the right foot.
The day where we do not take unnecessary risks. Today's entry,
The first 2 Windward Leeward courses were challenging for the dozen teams from top universities around the world. The gradient breeze was fading away, leaving warm and sunny conditions better suited to sunbathing. There are 90 sailors here in the 12 teams, so let's meet some of them. From the cold climes of Norway comes the BI Norwegian Business School, skippered by Ida Trulsrud. They won the second race today and must be counted among the favourites for the prestigious trophy this year. The Swiss team are all students at the École Polytechnique Fédérale de Lausanne. They were runners-up last year, unfinished business, so their only goal here is to win. The Italians are back to the competition after missing the last Worlds in France. They're hoping to repeat a great performance from 2 years ago here in La Rochelle. The USA is represented by a different university than usual this year. All their students are from the Maritime School of California under skipper Dylan Lancaster. Two women are helming this time round, from Norway and from England. Annabelle Vose comes from Southampton University and made a big impression today by finishing first and second with her team in the first two races.
Hello, my name is Annabelle Vose and from Southampton University in England. I'm here at my second SYWoC, but my first time helming. Today was a really good day. We had 3 really nice races. The sun came out, shorts and t-shirt sailing, it was perfect. We had 3 really solid results, 2 first and a second. We were over the line in the first race, which was a bit unfortunate, but we managed to get it back. Our aim for today was just to carry on and have some good solid results and not to push it too much because it's only the first day. And we just managed, we had really good boat speed, and I think the main thing was that we have really good crew work.
English modesty aside, Vose and her crew went out to win the coastal race in the afternoon and early evening. This was a 13-mile bash around the picturesque Gulf of La Rochelle, and the win puts a target firmly on the English team's back. 12 tired teams now regroup and charge their batteries for more action tomorrow. There are 20 more races to go over the next 5 days. On the second day here in La Rochelle, France, of the Student Yachting World Cup, or SYWoC as it's known, 2 inshore races and an offshore were scheduled in medium to light winds. Tricky conditions for the 12 teams entered. England's Southampton University had a great first day, and their top form continued in the shorter races. It's still early in the 6-day competition, but the English are looking like the ones to beat. Each team had to qualify in their country, so the level is high here in La Rochelle.
I'm the jib and spinnaker trimmer for the Scottish team at SYWoC. We qualified for SYWoC from Busa, which was the British event. There was 24 boats and 18 universities. We qualified as top Scottish boats and came here. We've prepared over the summer through various different events, not so much together. Yesterday we had a very good day. We were 3rd overall. At the end of the day we got a cheeky wee 2nd as well. Today a wee bit down the pan, different conditions, but I think we've had a wee break now and I think we're going to kick on from there.
In 2012, Canada finished on the podium, but their performance today was far short of that top result. They finished 8th and 9th in the inshore races. On the other hand, Ireland had a good day, finishing both inshore races in the top 5. They won the title in 2012, and last year they finished 9th, so they're looking determined and on track to reach the podium again. Straight after the inshore races, the 12 crew set off on a 15 nautical mile stretch, which took them under the bridge which links La Rochelle to the pretty Ile de Ré. The wind faded halfway through, so the teams had to sail with a light touch and plenty of patience to finish. Again, Southampton took the bullet, keeping their place at the top of the leaderboard. Day 3 would mark the halfway stage of the championship, which is when the leaderboard takes a defining shape. winds look light on the third day of the Student Yachting World Cup in La Rochelle. In these conditions, sailors talk of moving around the boat like a cat in silk slippers. The surprise performance of the day was by the University of Meiji Gakuin, representing Japan. This team rounded the first mark at the front of the pack, displaying perfect light wind technique. Perhaps their show-stopping karaoke performance at last night's party inspired them to dazzle their new friends with their sailing skills. Another team here battling to climb up the leaderboard is Cardiff University, representing Wales. Tom Firth is on the helm and Emily Wiltshire is their star crew. Their 10th place finish today might not improve their overall position, which is 8th, but they're still in the hunt. As is the University of ESCE from France, who scored a bullet in this first race, and top marks for celebrating in such style. The wind then completely died out, so it was time to make the most of being on the water in such a beautiful place, messing about in boats. SYWoC is of course a fiercely contested trophy, but students are students, and having 12 teams from top colleges around the world does create a fun atmosphere.
The race today was quite intense, but we've got some time off now to rest and recuperate, so I think we'll be okay for racing again tomorrow.
The race, people are not here for the race, they're here for the party, aren't they? And who's the best singer? Yeah, no, me. Tonight there's a French party, just... What is it tonight? I don't know. What is... Oh, so tonight it changed, it's a surprise.
Salut Yannick. So you will understand.
The day closed with the wind picking up a bit, so the second race kicked off. Once more, the crew from Southampton University scored another first, making their tally 6 bullets out of the 8 races so far, a commanding performance. The French crew finished second. 3 days out of the 6 have now been contested, so the competition is halfway. Stronger breezes forecast, so the tables could turn.
Another day.
The fourth day of the Student Yachting World Cup was forecast to be another slow one, with light winds throughout the day. But hopefully for the heavier crews, this would be the last of the week, because tomorrow the wind is looking to pick up to 20 knots, which will definitely change the game and possibly see some new race winners. So last day for the light wind lovers. SYWoC often attracts a high calibre of sailors who've mostly come from dinghy sailing backgrounds. This helps tremendously, of course, when the students step up to race sporty one-design yachts like these. If we look at the top 3 teams, there are some superb dinghy sailors amongst them, not least Annabelle Vose helming Southampton University's team. Starting in Optimists as a youngster, Annabelle won her first national title in 2009. Moving on to the 420 dinghy, a feeder class for the Olympic 470, she topped the leaderboard in the 420 Junior Europeans just 2 years ago. The Italian team are also on stellar form. These folks are from Brescia, a few minutes away from Lake Garda, that sailing mecca in northern Italy, which hosts many top-class international regattas like the Star Worlds earlier this year. The Italian crew are mostly the same as the 2012 SYWoC podium finishers from the 2012 event. They're certainly strong contenders this year. as are the Irish team from University College Dublin, which has Philip Duran on the helm. Philip is probably the most experienced sailor of anyone here, with a ton of ISAF Youth Worlds and Youth World Championships under his belt in the epically hard laser and laser radial classes.
Yes, we have a lot of former dinghy sailors in our crew. We like to think this gives a little bit of an edge on tactics. A lot of people, dinghy sailors moving into yacht racing, taking the tactics and strategy they learned there into the yacht sailing. I think a lot of other teams also have that as well. I think it's very important from a tactics and strategy point of view that you're used to sailing against a huge amount of other boats, which you can get from big laser fleets, for example.
Putting all that experience into action, the Irish went on to win the last race of the day, closing the gap on the leaderboard to the English in first overall. The team from Southampton University, however, are going to be hard to beat. They haven't made any mistakes and go into day 5 with a decent points cushion. But there are still plenty of races to go over the next 2 days, plus stronger breeze. The fat lady may be clearing her throat, but she's not singing just yet.
Student
Yachting
World
Cup.
Stay tuned.
On the penultimate day of the Student Yachting World Cup, as expected, the strong winds finally arrived. From first light, stormy clouds covered La Rochelle and big waves had formed out to sea. So a challenging day for both teams and boats that would require extra caution to get through without mishap. When all 12 teams finally reached the race area, they were faced with over 20 knots of breeze with gusts up to 28. This was a real test for some of the crews, and a few decided to retire, some due to gear failure. But for those who could handle the big conditions, it was time to stretch their legs and enjoy the La Rochelle roller coaster ride, surfing down the waves and generally blasting along. Southampton University scored 2 more bullets today, matching their skill in the lighter breeze during the first 4 days with solid heavy air technique. This crew, under Annabelle Vose, has rocked the 34th Student World Yachting Cup because after 8 wins in 14 races, they are the undisputed champions with a day to spare. That's a really impressive result. Congratulations to Annabelle and her crew.
Amazing to be the winners of the 2014 SYWoC. We're really happy, and especially enabling us to do it a day early. We've put in some really good races and worked really hard, and to do it with 3 races to spare is just a fantastic feeling.
Only 1 point now separates second-placed Italy and third-placed Ireland, so the final day tomorrow looks like a pure duel between these 2 teams for silver or bronze podium glory. Will they match race each other? That's probably the debate going on in the bars and cafes of La Rochelle during the evening. The Italians only need to cover the Irish, while the Irish will probably want to sail in some of their own clear air. Welcome to the final day of the Student Yachting World Cup. The championship has already been won with a day to spare by the Southampton University team representing England. But 3 teams are still in the game, battling for the remaining 2 places on the podium, and the rest of the fleet is battling for best position overall. Two strong races made for an exciting grand finale. In the first race, the Italians sailed brilliantly, crossing the line second. This almost secured them second overall, because the other contenders, the Irish, were over the line. This then gave Norway a crack at third place overall, going into the final race. The Italians only had to stay close to the Irish to secure the silver, but the Irish had to worry more about the Norwegians, who were breathing down their necks. An amazing comeback from Ida Trulsrud and her Norwegian team, crossing in third, earned them third overall, bronze position on the podium, leaving the poor Irish, who had a last day shocker, just off in fourth overall.
In the second race, we'd like to mark. We stayed together with the Irish guy that are very close to us, and we have done our program, our job, and we arrived second overall, and there's a good position because 2 years ago we arrived third and increased our position.
The English team were under no pressure at all, so their bullet and second simply extended their overall points lead to a mighty 36. What a regatta for Annabelle Vose and her crew. The day concluded with a fun tag race where 2 universities teamed up against 2 others and students tried different positions on the boat. The closing ceremony was held in the Maritime Museum of La Rochelle, with all teams enjoying a taste of proud French naval history. The AGPM Cup Award to the winner of the coastal race went to England, while the cup for the winner of the last races was awarded to Wales. So that was it from La Rochelle and the 34th edition of the Student Yachting World Cup. If you're a student watching this who'd like to get involved, well, a quick search online will lead you to contacts, dates and entry forms. Looks fun, right? Maybe we'll see you there next year.